This isn't about brute strength. It's not about dominance. It's about returning to that deep, stable, quiet force within, a place few remember exists. You wake up in the morning, and the first thing you feel isn't anxiety or urgency. It's something else, a kind of stillness beneath the surface, as if the world hasn't yet wrapped you in its demands, and for a brief moment, there is only awareness. And slowly, this stillness begins to shape the way you move through life. You're no longer chasing applause, no longer clinging to being understood. You simply show up with presence. You speak less, but your words carry weight. You don't need to shout because your energy speaks for you. It's confidence not built on proving, but on knowing. A quiet kind of power, grounded and unshakable. You realize now, confidence isn't volume. It's not posturing. It's the way you pause before responding. It's how you meet someone's eyes without trying to impress. It's in how you allow silence in conversations, no longer rushing to fill the gaps with noise. You've stopped trying to dominate space and started to embody it. And from that inner steadiness comes clarity, a sense of what is truly yours and what never was. You no longer offer yourself to every request. You say no when something drains you, not with guilt, not with explanation, but with kindness and certainty. You've come to understand setting boundaries isn't rejection, it's alignment. You honor your limits not because you are selfish, but because they are sacred. You're learning to protect your time, your energy, your focus, and you no longer chase those who pull away. You let them go with grace because you know that what's real will stay. Something else shifts too, the way you carry responsibility. You no longer take everything on. You don't confuse responsibility with guilt. You own your part. When you make a mistake, you name it, not with shame, but with strength. You've stopped hiding from your flaws. You face them, learn from them, and grow. You understand that being wrong doesn't make you weak. Refusing to learn from it, that's what keeps you small. You've stopped pretending, stopped posturing. You're okay with not knowing. And in that humility, something powerful is born. Your actions now carry a different rhythm. You don't rush. You don't scatter your energy. You wait for alignment. You notice the space between thought and action, between impulse and response. And in that space, you find freedom. A strange thing happens. The less you push, the more life flows, the right people appear, the right opportunities unfold. You move in harmony with what is. You stop grasping, stop forcing, and somehow you begin to receive more. Even when things around you unravel, there's a part of you that remains still. People might panic, deadlines might scream, emotions might run high, but you've built a sanctuary within. You've sat with discomfort enough times to no longer fear it. And so, when others lose their center, you remain grounded, not above it all, but deeply rooted in something real. Your presence becomes a lighthouse in the storm, not because you know everything, but because you've practiced being with the unknown. In relationships, too, something deepens. You're no longer trying to fix everyone. You've dropped the savior complex. You no longer rush in with advice or solutions. Instead, you listen, truly listen. You hold space. You trust the strength in others even when they can't see it themselves. And strangely, when you stop rescuing, people begin to rise. They stop leaning on you and start discovering their own legs. Your presence becomes a mirror that reflects their power, not just your own. You've made peace with your emotions. You no longer push them down or mask them with distraction. You feel them, let them move through, and they soften you in the best way. You begin to notice the subtle shifts in your own moods, the quiet ways your body speaks before your mind catches up. You recognize that tears are not weakness, they're release. That anger is not failure, it's a signal. You feel more, and in feeling, you become more human, more whole. With time, your awareness becomes more finely tuned. You begin to notice the small things, the way light spills across a room in the early morning, the way someone's voice shifts when they talk about what they love, the texture of each breath, the quiet between songs, the pause before someone answers a vulnerable question. You become more present, not as a technique, but as a way of being, and life, in its simplicity, becomes more beautiful than you remembered. And in that presence, you begin to sense something deeper. Call it life, call it spirit, call it God. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's real for you now. You see signs, patterns, coincidences that feel more like choreography than chance. You start to feel that you're not walking alone, that something is guiding, shaping, dancing with you. You stop needing proof because you've started feeling the truth in your bones. You trust, not blindly, but deeply. And all of this stillness, clarity, presence, awareness, it comes together in the way you live. You're not chasing some ideal of manhood. You're not trying to be the perfect anything. You're simply aligning what you say, what you feel, and what you do. You keep your word. You show up. You make amends when needed. You speak truth even when it's hard. You walk away when something isn't right, even if it hurts. You're no longer playing a role. You're living as yourself, fully, authentically, embodied. Awakening isn't a finish line. It's not a badge. It's a way of walking, a way of seeing, a way of meeting the world again and again with open eyes and open heart and feet rooted in truth. You'll falter, you'll forget, but now you know how it feels to remember. And that memory, that truth, it never leaves you. If this message resonated, leave a comment below. What part reflected something real in you? Let this be a space where awakened men recognize each other not through image or identity, but through presence. If you're walking this path too, like the video, subscribe and share your journey. Because the world doesn't just need stronger men, it needs truer ones. And you, right now, are becoming one